Hello students, this is Dr. Davidson and I want to walk you through the new accounting for your hours at your site called the Clinical Experience. If you go into when you go into the Cal State Teach website, you will go to My Work. When you click on My Work, you will see at the top it says Clinical Experience. What I need for you to do is to click on Open Log. And when you click on Open Log, it'll ask you to add or continue or delete a log. So this is how you add a log. You go to the Add Log entry, and then you will put down the beginning of the week's date. So, or you can put down the Friday, whichever one, but you're going to do this on a weekly basis. So let's just say that this is when something has happened, perhaps, that I want to make a log of. Maybe I went to a professional development and I did this today. So I can come here, I can go into the location, that means the school, and for this one I'm going to use Crocker. And then it asks me what was the activity that I did during this clinical experience, and I click here for a drop-down menu. So now if you are student teaching, perhaps you were able to work in small groups that day. Or if you are an intern, perhaps you were co-planning with your mentor teacher. Or perhaps you also during this day you had coaching from your mentor teacher. So let's just say that I'm going to be doing I went to a lesson demonstration. So how many hours was I there? It'll give you the hour increments. So for this, I was there for 1 hour observing another class. And I can say here, if I need to, that maybe this was for English language arts. So I just write down whatever note that I need to make. And then I can put here, were there other people participating in this process? So if I went to a demonstration lesson, then there probably was some type of, let's see, ELA site mentor on campus, and this could be your specialist. You might have a math specialist, and if that's the case, then you would go ahead and make notes about if it doesn't say there's a math specialist or so on here, you can go ahead and write math specialist here. If more than, so I'm going to say there was an ELA site mentor who helped with this lesson, and I'm also going to say that my curriculum specialist was also in the room at the time that we were doing this observation, and then after the observation we had a chance to talk about it. Once I do that, I will come over here and I will click Save. And as you see, this will now generate a list of the events that you participated in throughout the course of the week. Now, if you notice down here, it says total verified hours. What this means is when you click Submit, you will automatically generate an email to your site mentor. Your site mentor then must go in, look at what you wrote, and then they will click Verified or not. And if they when they click verify, a little check mark will come here, and I will know that your mentor said, yes, you actually did what you said you did, and you did it for this amount of hours or the amount of time. In the event that this is sent, but I do not see a little box here, then that will generate a phone call or a contact from me saying, your site mentor has not verified your hours for this week. Has your mentor gone in to look at the email? That'll always be the first question I ask you, because I do know that sometimes teachers are busy, this is a new procedure, and they may have forgotten to go in and look at the email that you sent. If, however, you say like, no, I'm pretty sure I checked and that happened, then the next thing I ask is, your mentor has not verified your hours. That means there's a discrepancy between you and your mentor. this can be a very uncomfortable conversation, because if I see too many of these, I'll start calling the mentor and ask, did you get the emails from my student? And if so, why are you not verifying these hours? Because if the mentor doesn't verify the hours, then the hours don't count. Now, for all students, be you intern or student teacher or volunteer teacher, this is going to be used in lieu of your timesheet. You no longer have to fill out that timesheet, but you do have to fill this out. Now, I sent an email out today with a written documentation, but I just want to reiterate here that if you are an intern, you are required, you are absolutely required by the state of California, implemented this year, to put in on a calendar year basis 144 hours of support or professional development from your site mentor or site. As I mentioned in the letter, this could be conversations that you have with your mentor. This could be the regular meetings that you have with your mentor. This could be visiting other teachers. This could be a lot of different things, but you have to have 144 hours during the school year, September to June, or whenever your school year started. In addition to the 144 hours, you are also required to have hours specifically set aside for ELD or SEDI, and they average about 56 hours through a calendar year. So this could be if you go to a professional development on ELD, if you sit down and co-plan with your mentor teacher on ELD, that's fine, and you can double dip those hours. One of the hours are like, yeah, I went to professional development, but the other hours are like, and this professional development was ELD. So this is really important because it affects the credentialing process and your success in the clinical experience. Now, for my incoming teachers, you know you were going to be receiving 2 grades, a clinical grade and a academic grade. For my continuing teachers, the clinical experience log is representing your timesheets and your mentor logs. So you don't have to do those anymore. But if this isn't filled out and I don't see the hours and you haven't met your commitment for the hours in the classroom on a regular basis, then you will not pass that portion of your at the end of the term, and that can drop your grade down to a C if you fail the practicum portion of your term's work. So I know this is new. I know it's going to be kind of hard for you to get used to. It was a little hard for us to get used to thinking we have to do this. But I'm sure that you will find that over time it will just become automatic. If you do it on Fridays, then that's fine. If you want to do it daily, that's your choice, but you only have to hand this in once a week. The other thing that I want to let you know is it is really important for volunteer teachers and student teachers to meet their commitments at their site with their mentor teachers. You have a certain requirement of hours that you must put in on a weekly basis, and it has to be regularly met in the classroom of your mentor or cooperating teacher. In the event that that is not met, the first time that you miss and it was an unexcused absence, and it could cause serious ramifications. I know that for the most part my students don't have a problem with this, and I appreciate that, but I just want you to really understand that you are expected to be at your site in your mentor teacher's classroom doing the work of a Cal State teacher, a student teacher. In the event that there are issues with this, you need to communicate with me as soon as possible. If you are going to miss a day at your site, you need to email me in addition to contacting your site mentor to let them know that something has come up, and you need to also mention how you were going to make up those hours. So I know this is a little more stringent than usual, but this is the way of the world now. So if you have any questions, you know how to reach me. It's a fairly simple log. And I just want you to see what happens for me is I come here to my portion of the site and I go into your student work, and I open up the clinical log and I see all of my students, and the first thing I do is I click and I see, have you handed in your clinical log for that week? Oh, the last thing I wanted to tell you was on Fridays, and this is important, it's part of your clinical experience for returning students and for new students. You need to write a paragraph or two focused on that week's TPE that discusses what it is you learned that week regarding your experiences in the classroom. This is for all students, whether you are intern, student teaching, or a volunteer teacher. I know this is new, but I'm sure that you will get it as a routine. And one of the things that we'll do is prepare you for BITSA, because in BITSA you have to do a weekly reflection. I have given the directions on how to create that weekly reflection in the letter, and you just write the week, the date of the week, and write weekly reflection, and then you just go ahead and reflect your little butt off. So thank you very much, and if you need to contact me, obviously you know how. Thank you. Bye.